Each year, it is estimated that 30 million people in the United States ride horses. This risk-taking sport is highly dangerous, but many riders do not wear helmets. According to the CDC, the rate of serious injury per number of riding hours is estimated to be higher for horseback riders than for motorcyclists and automobile racers. As a horseback rider myself, I don't find this that shocking, but what I do find surprising is the fact that not all horseback riders wear helmets. This is a serious issue within the sport because falling from a horse can lead to serious injuries, which could have easily been prevented by wearing a protective headgear. All equestrians should wear helmets while participating in this dangerous sport. Many riders in the equestrian world are against the use of helmets because they conflict with the traditional and idealistic look. An example of this would be wearing a cowboy hat in Western-style riding events and rodeos. If you are in this situation, I ask you, is this danger really worth the look? According to the University of Connecticut, over 60% of horse-related deaths are caused by head injuries, and helmets could reduce that risk by up to 70%. It is also very dangerous to have repeated head trauma. Even when very small, each new accident expands the original damage, and the brain can never fully recover. Football players wear helmets for this exact reason, so why don't equestrian athletes do the same? If you think your helmet hair is ugly, think about a cracked skull or a concussion. Now that is much uglier. Some people will consider this risk and continue in their dangerous practices, but I urge you, the next time you get on a horse, think about these undeniable truths and think twice before putting that cowboy hat on. A helmet could just save your life. The type of helmet you wear is also important. Only helmets designed for horseback riding are able to properly protect you from a fall. A bike helmet may be lighter and cooler, but according to the University of Connecticut, bike helmets aren't built to withstand impact from the height of a horse. Bike helmets are also designed to protect the top of the head because most bicycle falls are forward, while falls from a horse can happen in all directions. So the top, back, and sides of the head need to be protected. Many horseback riding helmets that are higher quality have the technology to be comfortable with good airflow while still protecting your head, so there is no reason you shouldn't wear one. Another misunderstanding that many people have is that if you are an experienced rider, you do not need to wear a helmet. This is not correct because of the unpredictability of horses. Even the most well-trained horse still has its natural fight or flight instincts. Horses are prey animals and use this instinct to escape predators. If a horse is scared by something while you are riding and it uses its flight instinct to get away, it has nothing to do with how good of a rider you are. You could end up on the ground with a serious head injury. A fall from only 2 feet can cause serious brain damage, and on a horse you are over 8 feet above the ground. According to the Canadian Horse Magazine, the fight or flight response is a reactive instinct, meaning that it is an immediate action in response to a dangerous stimuli, and every second determines survival. Because of this instinct, horses sometimes react impulsively to things that scare them, which means there's no way of predicting whether or not it will happen. It doesn't matter how experienced a rider you are, because anyone could end up in a dangerous situation with a scared horse. Helmets are extremely beneficial pieces of equipment, and like most horseback riding equipment, they can sometimes be expensive. This is another argument of those who do not wear helmets. They may think it is not worth it to spend the money on something they might not even need. I assure you, the cost of buying a reliable, high-quality helmet is worth it. According to Equestrian, hospital costs for an acute head injury can be around $25,000 per day. That cost is much larger than the $50 to $200 that could have been spent on a reliable horseback riding helmet. This doesn't even take into consideration the extended lifetime care costs for someone with a brain injury who must remain at a hospital. These costs can exceed over $3 million. Not only can riding helmetless lead to death, it can also lead to other serious injuries, like epilepsy, intellectual and memory impairment, and personality changes. The most common possibility is a concussion. The CDC defines a concussion as a type of traumatic brain injury caused by a blow to the head, which causes damage and chemical changes in the brain. Recovery from a concussion can take weeks or even months, meaning that a rider could be out of work or school for a long time. All of these injuries could be prevented by something as simple as wearing a helmet. If all equestrians wore helmets, it would save lives and avoid many serious preventable injuries. Helmets may not look as nice, but they are the most effective way to protect yourself from an injury in a risk-taking sport. In 47 states in the United States, there are laws regarding helmet use for riding a motorcycle. Yet there are no laws for helmet use when horseback riding, even though it is considered the more dangerous activity. Wearing a helmet is ultimately up to the rider, because there are no state laws regarding it. But next time you get on a horse, you can make the educated and responsible decision to save your own life by wearing a helmet.